This is a serious limitation the world is placing on people right now. A real limitation for many people. And this is exactly the moment when we need to be grateful. It is easy to judge. Judging takes no energy. It is like hitting something with a hammer when it works badly, while what it really needs is repair. But breaking it is easier. Bad, 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 bad. We perceive everything through the heart. The head only carries words that come from the heart. And when it comes through the heart, it moves creatively and positively, even when we face the unknown.
So the woman's head cannot be the center for decisions, right?
It works like a transmitter. It transmits the heart. And inside it there is a store of words, knowledge, and states through which she can interact with the world around her. Love, tenderness, a kiss, an embrace, the kind of phrases she says. Yes, it is a kind of storage. She read those books, watched those films, went to the theater, went to different places. This becomes a base guided by the heart, and the heart chooses how to use it creatively. Figuratively speaking, we have a hard drive, a prompt, and working memory. We cannot live only from working memory. If we keep loading everything into it, it becomes overloaded and inert. But when the hard drive holds books, people, creativity, trips, and other experience, it is stored somewhere inside. Of course, it carries a felt image and real interaction. And again, we try to interact with what we truly like, with what develops us. Some people say, I will immerse myself in the worst things. They say they need to know the bad as well. Guys, you do not need to know the bad. We need to know the good and then the even better. Misfortune has never brought anyone to happiness. Terrible pain, humiliation, and attempts to break a person have never led anyone to love and naturalness. They hardened a person, yes. But do you know how they hardened him? They made him rougher and more unhappy. That is why you become what you interact with. So, as I say, we have to accumulate the experience of interaction. Remember, we were saying that these years, thank God the pandemic is not here now and people can travel, but still, the world is placing a serious limitation on people. A real limitation for many people. And this is exactly the moment when we need to be grateful. Look, if we all understood this, many things that happen simply would not happen. Let me be a little clever here. We are speaking only about the heart center right now. If we were active in relation to what we feel, we would feel a pull toward music and go study music. We would feel a desire to become a DJ, and we would move in that direction. You go and become a DJ, or at least you try in that direction. Lie down, crawl, do something at least. You feel an impulse to cook, so you go and try, even if it does not work. In other words, follow that feeling. When you have these small steps, then when the right time comes, you already have something inside. You find time for it, even if you work on it casually. When you want something, you find a possibility. When you do not want it, you find a reason. Remember, felt it, thought it, did it. Even better, felt it and did it if it is creative and positive. Later, I will explain why the bad works so easily and why the good almost never works. The scheme is simple. Bad is destruction, and good is creation. Destruction needs primitive energy. Creation needs complex energy. And the more complex the thing we create, the more potential it has, but also more vulnerability. A microchip and a hammer have different functions. A hammer is easier to make. A microchip is harder.
Микросхема и молот, они как бы разных функций, и молот сделать легче, микросхему сложнее.
It can seem as if the hammer is strong and the microchip is vulnerable. Yet the microchip gives us development. The hammer only gives the first possible steps. If we remain with the hammer, we move into the past. So, let us go further.
Идем дальше по всему этому.
If we followed this impulse, right?
Look at what happens. If we followed that impulse, we would go to the work we actually like. We would buy a home where we want to live. We would allow ourselves to drive the cars we feel drawn to. But often, people do not allow this. They say, "No, that is too expensive for me."
How does that work? Sometimes we read other people's desires, not our own.
That happens only in one case, when we have forbidden ourselves. Then, we work for others. She may dream, but somewhere in the small things, she accepted a law of duty, guilt, pity, and dependence on what others will say, whether they praise her or criticize her. And then everything starts coming true for other people. You work for others and become expendable. This is implanted in us, so we keep feeling guilty. Even in religion, you are sinful simply because you were born.
There are many imposed scenarios.
Look, Nicole, why do we speak about the heart? Because something dead gets imposed there. You must be a good girl, religious, proper. Then resistance begins. The girl behaves the opposite way, not always from love, because she needs to give feedback.
Девочка начинает себя вести ровно противоположным образом, и не всегда в любви, потому что ей нужно дать обратную связь.
For example, with parents, this is the scheme of the dual world and how it works. Suppose the parents are too spiritual. I had a family like this. She was a lawyer, he was some well-known person in business. They were very proper, very intelligent, but they judged people who were not like them. And their child behaved terribly, stealing, lying, betraying, while they kept paying everyone off and pulling him out of trouble.
Ворует, обманывает, предает, и они только успевают везде отстегивать и его вытаскивать из каких-то жоп.
Snobbery creates rebellion.
They judge those people, and as a result, they receive the same thing for themselves.
That is duality.
Yes, that is how it worked. If you do everything good, and this applies to me too, then do not judge everything bad. This is also about me. Maybe what saves me is that every day I admit to myself, Palienko, stop judging. Start speaking in a creative direction. But how do we usually try to do it? It is easy to judge. It takes no energy. It is like hitting something broken instead of repairing it. Breaking is easier. Bad, 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 bad. Then you become bad yourself because you use your own negativity to destroy what you call bad instead of building your own thing. Like Lamborghini. He made tractors, went to Ferrari, and said the car should be changed. They sent him away, and he made his own Lamborghini. That is roughly how it should be. But I want to reach beautiful happiness with minimal action. And what do I get? Nothing works. Because I try to destroy what I do not like, while I need to create what would be better. Recently, Nicole and I went away from the children for a short time and tried to do something like that. Yes, yes. And what happened? When Nicole and I were talking, I said, listen, we cannot create a change of the whole world. We cannot. We do not have the energy to change all these people. But we can create the prerequisites with our own constructive, positive intention so that the energies that build negativity stop working.
Созидательно позитивным, чтобы прекратили работать вот эти энергии, которые но строит негативщину.